I is a special character within the cast that prefers the opponent to be standing within his routing. He gets access to JD combos, which are very important for optimal corner carry and damage, and better knockdowns. If someone's crouching, this does whiff though. So if someone is crouching, you just want to do close slash reach Eclat. But if someone's standing, that's where you get that fun. You get to do close slash, JD, air dash, and then you can either follow up with a JK or a JHS. Now, in general, you will always end with JK and JHS, unless you wall splat on the JS. But that's very uncommon, and then you'll always follow up with a close slash after. However, though, in later combos, your scaling might be high enough that instead, you'll want a 2K 6H. Just get a little bundle combo out of that. And also, if someone's already in the air from like a Roman cancel, another move, maybe did JD routing already, you can do 5K instead. Though in 5K routing, you'll almost always use JK. There's also even more, you'll probably be using JK after, 2K after the JK. Now, on counter hit, your combos do change a little bit off close slash specifically. You actually get your JD routing pretty basic, though you have to do 2K on counter hit 5K. But the main issue is, you may notice an issue here that I cross up. This is where choosing your direction with your JD comes into play. So with JD, if you do normally, you want to use JD9 or JD8, which is the direction, right? JD7 also works, but it's only for specific routings, and it's also a lot worse. You have to be a lot faster. Overall, I would learn J9 and also use JK first in my combos before I move to JH and use the other ones. But you never really use 7 unless it's a counter hit. In case of a counter hit, you do JD7, you get normal routing, a little less corner carry. And in the situation they're in a corner, you can actually abuse the fact you side switch with FTC JK. Which you don't always have to FTC. It just makes it a lot better. I'm very bad at this. I rarely do this. As you can see there, I almost did it without the FTC. I think it's actually easier if you do 8 JD than doing it. Or is it 9? Yeah, there we go. But in general, yeah, I would just do JD in the 7. Just take the knockdown. And there is one actual benefit if someone's crouching, because you actually get a very special conversion. So if you do like a counter hit far slash, go to Fujark, you can 2K 2D. But if someone is standing in your routing, you actually do not get the 2K 2D, which is very big. You can do 2K 6H as well, which is what you'll in general do. It is kind of rare, but when this does happen, it can be quite impactful for routing. You can't be the difference between a wall break and not. I rarely notice it, but if you can, it's great for you. Moving on to the next section. Now, Eclat is very special as a button, as you can like see, the opponent, my bad for the lag, kind of tumbles there, they roll a little bit. So you actually have time to pick up your combo there. It isn't an OTG, because an OTG, for example, this is an OTG, Eclat, you know, they just like kind of roll back, they auto attack on the ground. But you can just dash momentum, so it's easier. You can actually combo off Eclat with a few buttons, and a few different buttons. So you can extend the tumble of Eclat with a few different buttons. So you can do 6H, will let you combo, and also in general, you'll try to combo into Hey Vapor Thrust. Won't always be possible, but you can most of the time, and that's for optimals. You can also do with 2H, which won't come up much, but you can be like kind of close and be like, oh, I'm right here, and then you combo. You get a full conversion. Another button. So there's a lot of buttons that specifically only work while your opponent's already in air. In general, 6H in corner, 2H mid screen in a dire clot. In the corner, you'll like always be doing this. But if your opponent is already in an air combo, you get way more options. So you get, for example, you can car cancel or just do raw JD in combo. You can do 5k, which is a little bit better. It gives you 6h more after. You can do 2k. You can do 5h in very specific scenarios. I'm gonna give myself a Roman cancel. This is not optimal at all, I'm just showcasing this. The tumble's increased. Yeah, that's every button that increases it. And now the buttons that you use after dire clot. So, very strong buttons to use after is 2k, which gives you 6h after, and Vapor Thrust. You can do 5k, which is higher damage, but is a little less inconsistent. It was a little more inconsistent. You can do 6h. You'll mostly do 6h, quite rarely. I would recommend doing 2k 6h until you're comfortable, and then remembering routing with 6h. In general, if you want to combo 6h more, you want to layer dire clot, which makes them tumble a little bit longer, which gives you enough time to 6h after. And to hit Vapor Thrust for way higher damage. Then you can also pick up with 5h. You'll do that in like really scaled combos when you can't 6h and you can't run into 2k. And there's one more niche button, which is Wallstick, which comes into play more of if you're like pretty far, but like you see the corner and you react, which you'll rarely ever see this, but if you do, that's like a really good guy Kiske. Let me see if I can even do this myself. I think this comes into play more if someone already has Shark's counted, which is another way you actually extend it more. So you can Shark's extends the tumble by a very small amount. You will almost like never see this, but when you do, it is like it's present. But it's more important for count-ins. So if you don't have Shock State, unless someone stopped by the corner, I made him one. Okay. So on a counter hit, right? This becomes more prevalent, but more importantly, you can't pick up with like a 5-8, right? It's too far. But if you have specifically Shock State and a counter hit, then your dire clot will always combo. Then you get a full combo. I should probably hit the auto for this, hold up. I can't be a fraud. Let's say that. That's an okay combo. Okay, it's probably not optimal, but we'll take it. It's not meterless. On meterless, you just get like this, you know. Oh, also, yeah. You can Wallstick 6H after dire clot, that's a very strong power move. But yeah, that's most of dire clot. It's most important in corner, but like mid-screen, it can matter. On to the next section. On to the next section, we have air hit combos. So air hit combos are very similar to JD routing, following the same core where you do a JD, you'll do a hit, the JD. My apologies for being bad at confirming this. You'll follow the same foundation of JD routing, but you'll start. It's a bit more intuitive. You have to feel a little bit better. If you have Shock State on, actually, you can usually instantly confirm hit Vapor Thrust and get Cold Stash. I might have to do like a micro dash. That's the minimum combo. And your routing may vary. You may have to delay your buttons a fair bit, which is fair. A lot of combos will... Oh yeah, it is very strong actually to, if you want like a really optimal player to do like your one hit. And then do a one hit or maybe two hits in the combo I just did into Heavy Vapor Thrust if Shock State's applied, which became way more consistent in the new patch. And there's some more like consistent routings very nice. In general, a very, very, very good routing is a single hit, so like JH or JK, JD, you'll do the air dash instantly, to a very delayed, you delay the air dash to my bad, do a very delayed JS and JH, and then it will almost always give you a 5H. It's probably the most consistent routing that I know of. I'll also show the homing jump optimal along with this. In general though, it's the same principles as JD routing. If you can't do any of the shock state combos with charged damage, I would recommend just doing these off of FRRC, which that's how I kind of learn combos. So Kai's homing jump optimal, and by the way, I can't do the actual optimal. There's someone that found like a 1 more damage optimal, where there's an extra JS at the end. I'll just show you the one that's on the dust loop. The dust loop combo for this is actually optimal. JH, JD, air dash, JH. My apologies, I don't do this very much. I'm not a charged dust kind of person because I play at a high level of play. But you will see a side switch after the second JH. Oh my gosh, what is going on here? That's pretty optimal. If you can fit in like 1 more JS there, but it's very, very tight at the end. But there's an issue with this combo. It's not actually universal. This combo drops on, I believe it's Sin and Chip, but you can actually fix it very easily. Instead of just doing JH the second time, you just do JK, which I actually think not JK, JS. I actually think you might be able to get the JS easier. I don't know though, I don't think so. So if you're against Sin or Chip, or you don't want to remember what's character specific on, just do JS over JH. And the combo should still work as normal. On to the next section. Now, this is something more new. This is especially like an important section if you want to learn more season, I guess it's 4.5? I don't think it's 4.5, but I'll call it 4.5 right now. Routing. Which is fast or cancel routing, which is very important. So his main issue is for most of his routing, you would do a normal RC, and you do your combo, but actually let me give myself 15 meter exactly. I want you to look at the comparison of my meter to the opponent's meter within a combo. So I'll do a traditional, let me do a more skilled combo. Let me do something I'll actually show later. So you can see he gained almost like, he gained double the meter I got from that. Of course, I will wall break off any roam cancel, so you'll get like a 50 bar, and then you'll have an advantage. But in the case that someone actually already has the same meter as you, and you spend that 50, then your opponent will actually go above you. Which is why characters that don't have to spend meter are pretty advantaged, because they don't have that issue. They have about the same meter as you after their combo. And it's even better too, because they'll be building meter during the combo for supers. But Kai recently has gotten better routings for fast roam cancel. So remember the meter the opponent got compared to us in the last combo, and then compared to this. So there's a huge difference. So first off, I actually gained meter in that combo, but my opponent built less meter than me. So in general, fast roam cancel, you'll want to do it when you can. Of course, they do, in general, do less damage than if you were to do a slow roam cancel combo. But if you have shock state applied, I would always do it because the damage will be more. So this is an example of the strongest one, as I showed you, which is basically Stun Dipper, fast roam cancel, JD. I messed up. Not JD, 5D, fully charged. But there's an issue with this combo. If I just do round start distance, you may notice an issue with this. The close slash drops. You actually can't even get a 2K, I believe. So it's actually space independent. If, in general, if you do a far slash first, they'll be pushed far back enough that you'll be able to do the combo. And you'll wall splat on the edge, which will do more damage. A great way to think of this too is, let me just wall break real quick. just through a very suboptimal combo to wall break. Right? Now you can actually do the combo with SD1. You don't have to do it. It's good. Of course, this has its own timing when doing the fast roaming cancel, which is why I keep messing it up. I'm not very warmed up. It's pretty late. I gotta get the video out. This is a good distance. South nothing. This is a time where you don't need to poke into it. As you can see, the combo worked off their Stun Dipper. So if you poke in a Stun Dipper, you can always do that routing. If you don't, then you have to do traditional just like normal routing, you know? This actually, I think, gens and does less damage? Yeah. So it is better, the other routing, unless you have Shock State on. So, if they have Shock State on, though, you will always want a fast roam cancel, because you can wall break from, like, in pretty crazy places. The mid-screen optimal that I was able to find is SD1, 5H Dire Eclat, and then you have to do a max distance 2k. This combo is pretty hard. Like, I will say, a lot of people can't do this. The reason you have to be so fast is as combos continue, combo decay increases. So you actually have to 2k them at like near max distance in this combo, or else they wall splat. As you can see, I messed up there because I just didn't input heavy vapor thrust. There we go. Very strong. And because I bounced them really far away when I did heavy vapor thrust, it saved me a lot. That's just off SD1. Then also off any poke, it does change actually. You just do. Let me look at the combo for a little bit. Think of how it does. Did I do that wrong? Because of any poke, SD1. Oh, I did it wrong. You have to delay this on heavy vapor thrust. A very big amount. Oh, also, if you're doing fast roaming cancel routes, unless you're doing the charge less one, always do PRC for extra distance to the wall, extra corner clear. So, my apologies if they're routing. You actually don't wanna, you don't want to delay your heavy vapor thrust, you just want to do it immediately, so that you can reach them in time. Also, there's a micro dash in between the 5H after, well, so first off, you have to do forward drift, PRC, or RC, and then you have to, and then you micro dash the 5H after, and then you also micro dash the 6H. So my apologies, that's on me. I'd probably get the cut so that y'all didn't have to watch all that. So here's another routing that's very, very big. You can't be full screen for this routing, but it lets you wall break from literally anywhere. So if I remember correctly, I missed it. As you can see, you can wall break from basically full screen. The damage is really low though. You don't have to PRC here, I don't think. It's just me being me. Just additional corner carry is nice. Also, if you can, wall break with charge stunage. I should probably mention this earlier, but a big thing is you don't want to build your opponent too much meter on wall break. If you wall break with Dire Eclat, you build them way more meter, but if you wall break with charge stunage, because it's 3 hits, it builds them way less meter. Because it expects 3 hits, so it builds them 1/3 of the meter of the full damage. And in this routing, it's so heavily scaled that you do the same damage as Dire Eclat if you do charge stunage. In charge stunage, you can only wall break with it after a Fujark or a normal. If you wall break with like a heavy vapor thrust, if you wall break with a Stun Dipper, you can't use charge stunage to wall break because of how long it takes. And then also, if you won't always be able to wall break with this combo. The damage optimal is this. And they also apply Shock State, and then you can go over here, get pretty fuzzy. Pretty nice. Now on to the next section. Now, counter combos are special because you have to know the routing beforehand and you also have to recognize the situation. So, a big counter hit combo, you can also look at the close hash one. Round start is off counter hit 2D. So, this is a super messed up one. Also, on still you have to micro dash a little bit. I think just so some characters are actually close enough. You actually timed that correctly the first time. This is a very hard combo. So, in general, FRRC is actually very special because it actually has a different hitbox in the last few frames of the move. So, that normally wouldn't come into play unless you're doing this optimal, which is your meterless wall break off counter at 2D. As you can see, oh, I did that wrong. If I just do like counter 2D, go into like 5H FRRC, they're in corner, but it doesn't wall break. If I just immediately FRRC, I can't combo after. But I delay it to the last few frames. You can see they bounce way higher for longer, which gives me enough time to do this and get a meterless wall break, which is very important. However, this doesn't work on a big majority of the cast. I'll put it on screen who you can do this to, which in that case I'll just do alright 2D, just do this, and just set up your charge summons, right? This also doesn't reach on a lot of people. I know this doesn't work on Kai, that's what you can't do it on. And some characters as well, you have to do the routing a bit differently. You have to do 2k 2D on the first one. 5k, I mean, you have to do 2k 6h on the first one. So it is very nice that you can have this. Remember, you have to micro lock on some people. A way I actually have been able to help melee time this is the speed count to 6. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me do 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. That's a little better. So, like, speed count to like some number they find consistent depending on how fast you speed count. You might be able to find a full count, but that's how I learned the timing. I still don't have it down, obviously, though. This isn't something that's like very easy to time. Also, make sure to trip people out and call it a clean hit so people like get really confused like that has a clean hit, you know? So, counter hit combos. What is this? Okay, so I figured out what this is. So this is a very special route that I was able to take off Fern and kind of, I labbed it a little bit, so I was able to make it literally work on, I think it might be character specific, I don't know though, but you can literally wall break from any place on the map using a wall assault. I'll have a wall assault section later, which I think I'll go over this again, but off of any counter hit that isn't scaled, like, actually I think this works on like 2D too. Let me check. You do a fully charged wall assault. Instead of doing JD, do JSJH, jump, JK, and yeah, okay, so it has to be a non-scale move. So that's not 2S, that's not 2D, you can't do it off 6B, 2B. But off like a far slash, 5H, you can start on 2S, I believe. Actually, no, you can't. So yeah. So like, for example, I can even show some like counter hit like massage. This, like, routing is very dummy strong, because, for example, full screen, as you can see, that didn't wall break, because the combo lasted too short, because you have to extend. The longer combo goes on, the higher combo decay becomes, which increases wall damage. So, you can delay the JK, which extends how long the combo lasts, and then you can actually get the wall break here. As you can see, full screen wall break off of any poke, as long as you delay the JK, which is very, very huge. And then another move that's very cool is very special EP. You can combo off it on very specific hits. So, in general, if you just get a counter hit, no combo. If you do Shark Steak, almost a combo. Who's doing the 2K? I don't think you can. Right? The opponent's in the air. This will actually roll usually combo off of both. Well, yeah, you can see. But it's more special when you have Shark Steak and counter. Just like Direct Claw. If you have both. Oh, wait, actually, let me check something. Sorry, I can't tell my mind. So, in both, you can do like this app. The main use I would say is 5H Wallstick. You know, pretty good combo. You can actually bypass the counter hit requirement, I believe, and get a very juicy combo after a soft knockdown. So you'll do like your normal wall break, you know, and then you'll BRC at them. Do the micro dash. Okay, you do need a counter hit, so you have to react to a hit. Then you just do the combo. I made this a while ago. So you have to do a micro dash, then BRC at them, and then do like maybe one more for consistency. You don't have to. And if you combine all that with the, oh my gosh, you're going too high. If you combine all of these, you can do a run up, one hit 2H, routing, and then wall break again. So if they press anything to contest you after the soft knockdown, you can reply with that, and then get another positive bonus. It might even be time for a double positive bonus. You have like full meter. That's game. You just win off that. Though the micro dash is the more important part, because if they actually press, they'll usually be using a really big button. They'll hit you there. That is most of their kind of hit combos outside of like, well, like the one I showed at the start with like far slash recharge. On to the next section. Kai is a very special character because he's probably one of the most dependent on Wild Assault and routing, because his confirms aren't very good. This is like, even off like counter hits mid-screen doesn't get much. But with Wild Assault, it gets a lot stronger, right? So, a lot of his combos, if you want optimal corner carry, it follows the same principles of JD routing and air routing, which I showed earlier. But you usually will have to start off the combo with like a counter hit, right? So let me turn that on. A counter hit, right? And that'll be your main foundation. So just remember that combo. Yep. But that's not his actual optimal damage, because he likes to do this. He likes to send you up, and then bring you up with 5H, and with a button, routing. So, okay, my script is a little messed up, so I'm gonna have to describe more than I show. Hopefully you'll be able to use this in making your own routing, right? So, like for example off round start, the optimal you can do is this. Actually that's not optimal, wait, 164... 160, oh wait. Okay. Here we go. Alright. So that's metering and optimal, right? Actually, if I'm metering and optimal, but you see that here, right? So you'll do like, if your opponent gets counter hit by far slash, go in JSJH, JD air dash in JH, and then you'll land full slash. Alright, sorry, I'm gonna talk. Sorry. And then you'll end with like a Direct Claw. You'll end with a normal though, so it's usually better you end with Church on Edge, so that they don't get as much meter from your combo. Very strong. So, also, if you don't have a counter hit, this is your optimal off-road start. So, this was actually character-specific last season. Characters like Pot, heavy characters, I think light characters too, that dropped on the Sun Dipper after 6H. Now, you can just delay the stand up every time, and it will work on everybody, and you'll get optimal damage. Which is very good. Also do a little micro dash for the election meter, you know. You used to just do this. No delay, way less damage. That's very good. And then if you do like /5H, you do the same routing, but it Wallsticks on that, and then you can whiff a Dire Clot, hit it, and you actually do more damage because they don't use Stun Dipper in your combo. Now, with Wild Assault, you can also just like, I know this is like seems kind of bad, but you can also just like meme routing with Wild Assault if you want to, because you're genning half your meter anyways, and then you're getting attention from it. So even though like the combo may be kind of like bad, this is so bad. I don't lab this. I don't think anyone should lab this, right? You're doing damage, you're getting a full screen break, and then you're getting positive bonus tension. And because you do so many hits in the combo with Wild Assault, you're almost gonna gen a whole bar meter, and then you'll get like almost half burst stack. So it's also worth it sometimes. Also, if the scaling is high in the combo, just like do 2H immediately and it will never drop. And if you're near corner, this is not a good example, but let me just make a really bad combo real quick. You can do 6H for more damage. Now, air combos off Assault just like almost always work the same, you know, not too much to it. So let's go over the more interesting part, which is how you actually do optimal damage. So a big like showcase for that is this. As you can see, 207. I think that's less. I think this is more of a coin carry optimal. 207 compared to. Okay, it's the same actually now. Like this is a situation where I think it matters a little bit. And that's up there. But like converting to grounding combos, that's how you do more damage if you have to use a Wallstick. Don't always do air combos if you're pretty sure that you can just go on the ground and do like a whiff. So when you're doing whiffs, you use 2P, which is after Wallstick, so you don't go in the air. You can also use 2K. 2K is very specific. It's like for if you're like right in your face and you don't want to hit them, 2K has a lower hitbox. You don't hit them as much. And when you're doing this route, especially like air routing, it's very strong to delay. So of course I showed you this earlier with air routing. Always delay a JK. If you delay a lot, you can like, it doesn't even look like I'm playing Guilty Gear. It's not even a Guilty Gear combo anymore, right? This is especially, let me show you how broken this is. This combo, by the way, I'm probably gonna drop this a bunch of times. This is technically optimal, but it's like so like subhumanly possible that like I don't think anyone's doing this. I think it's possible though because you get the last second ground mounts. As you can see, delaying JK gives me so much distance and like wall damage that like this seems possible. If anyone finds like a consistent routing, by the way, off this, please send me comments. This is like a challenge, you know? This is like something the Kai community has to come together on. I don't think I'm gonna get this, but I'm gonna try like one more time. One more time. I need to have a good 10. I need to get a close slash. Or a 5H. I remember I made a version of 5H too. Oh no, I'm far slashing there. Well, there's a Wild Assault route, as you can see. That gives crazy corner carry. Maybe someone will figure that out. Good damage though. Just make sure you use Wild Assault in like all your conversions. If you hit a poke, just Wild Assault. It doesn't really matter if you accidentally like don't get close enough to wall break. That's fine, you know. Like, that's completely okay. Like, you just need the damage, and then you... The biggest thing about Water Assault is, compared to Sundipper, if you want to combo it, you gen, like, no meter it. You don't have that scaling. This is how I thought they were going to... I thought they were going to make it so Water Assault give you meter penalty. It does not give you meter penalty. So you gen, like, so much meter from, like, Water Assault combos. I almost gen, like, full bar, and I didn't even, like, get close to wall. Just remember that. Anyways, on the next section, I'll record this after, because I forgot the section. Oh, this is more important for last season, which is different versions of Heavy Vapor Thrust. So, you probably are someone who played in Season 4, and I know a lot of people that just never decide to pick up on Kai's routing. With Karas and TKs, because they actually are mechanically pretty difficult for especially beginners. Professional players, this is very easy. Like, you will rarely miss this up. You can, but you really will. They're pretty important, especially Karas and Dragon Stall, because that's the foundation of Dragon Stall's routing. So, in general, you can do dash cancel Heavy Vapor Thrust off of a Cold Slash or a 5k. Now, this is special, because now you have further corner carry, and it's also easier for you to pick up into a Cold Slash, especially with TK. As you can see, pretty good damage. Now, there's main benefits to both. Kara has further corner carry, and in Dragon Stall you loop it non-stop. In TK, gives you Cold Slash more. So in higher scale combos, you'll want to go for TK. Also, it has like some specific routings. I don't know if I can do it off raw hit, but I know sometimes you can do like a 5k JD routing. I think that was a Jadeo combo, but I don't know it. So if you want to learn this, I would recommend Cold Slash 5H and turn off. Shock State. Yeah, Cold Slash 5H, Sundipper 1-2. Oh, also something you've probably seen is all Kais, they would just do normal one cancel, micro dash, and then they do charge stun edge, micro dash, Cold Slash, which was very mechanically difficult for beginner players. It has become a little easier, because now you can just do this. There was no micro dash, they removed the first one, which I would argue is the easier one, but it's whatever you think, right? It also just gives you like more time to get in a position, but you won't combo unless you carve or TK. It's just become easy, right? A very easy combo is Cold Slash 5H, Sundipper 1-2, drift forwards, run at them, and then you're going to do a carve or TK, Cold Slash 2H, 5H, Bujark, Wallstick. Very good damage, 2-3-6. That was the old optimal. But with the new prop up, with everything, they have changed how you do most optimals. I messed up here, so I have to do a very scuffed route. And also, yeah, when you're combo with Heavy Vapor Thrust, sometimes up to 2k6, which is okay. Now, also in combos, if you do somehow have to route into multiple Vapor Thrusts, allow me to show you. So I will do 2 grounded ones, which is Kara is a grounded Vapor Thrust, right? As you can see here, the combo drops, they don't even have a ledge in. But if I do the same combo, but this time I start with the TK. Oh, that's nice first. Oh, a combo. So why did combo? So, this is a very special thing with special moves, right? Where if you use it multiple times in a combo, you'll have additional combo decay. I think it's specifically with DPs. If you use DPs in multiple combos, you'll have combo decay. I think. I don't think that's how it works. But air DP and ground DP are considered different moves. So if you do the grounded one, and then TK one, right? It counts as a separate move, right? So you don't get the scaling. This is not as important in Dragon Stall because I think they removed that in Dragon Stall, so you can do it multiple times. I think that was actually just something they did in general, so like I can't just like Vapor Thrust over and over again in a combo, but I don't think that's optimal anyways. if you are scared they have to do heavy vapor thrust multiple times in a combo, or maybe optimal is made where you do multiple, try to start combos with TK. Now, most optimals won't have you do that, but there are situations that do. Now, for the optimals, this is where it gets a little funky. Because these, I just made these recently. One of them you've probably seen before. I think I had Danny start doing it. But I actually found an even more optimal version. But in general, you'll do the routing I taught Danny off of just SD, like if you start Sun, like a raw Sun Dipper. You know, a neutral, whip punish, that type of situation, right? Sun Dipper, go into this, ignore that. By the way, if you do Sun Dipper into it, they charge Sun Edge, it's a little worse, right? I do think on Stun Dipper you wanna, because it's, you wanna do like the older first time routing rate, but you do JS, JH, and then you heavy vapor thrust, and it'll do like a lot more damage than you would do with normal routing. That would have done like, let me check real quick how much off like normal routing. Oh, they don't even go far enough. This is on a corner here. Alright. You can also still do, actually I haven't shown it yet. So here's, I just made this a few more days ago. I found it even further optimal. So for reference, if you do like /5H into the routing I just showed, and if you're doing that routing, make sure to not drift. You do very big damage, 240. So it's like 4 more damage than normal optimal from last season. But I actually found a more optimal routing. If you instead actually drift, micro dash, charge edge, micro dash, you can get more damage. But the issue with the combo is it's actually not full full screen. You have to be over here. But anyways, if you're this close, you'll do your side switch optimal, which I'll show later in the video. I think in the extra column. A lot of actually really good combos are in the extra column. This is the most important part. So if you're about here, you can do /5H, Sun Dipper, and you have to drift. You need the corner carry. FRRC, micro dash, 5H, micro dash. Look at this. Way more damage. 4 more damage, right? So that's already like 8 more damage compared to last season's optimal, but then it's actually even more optimal. If you can do /6H, delayed Sun Dipper, and by the way, this actually makes the combo easier to perform. You get more damage. This is, I think, a little bit more scaled though. So you have to be a lot more precise with the second 5H. But look at this. 247. That's 11 more damage than last season. That is very huge. That is the new help. So remember, specifically, I wrote this down. Do JS, JH, specifically when you're starting with Sun Dipper for the counter carry. And also don't drift that, because the combo doesn't work. So if you drift it on accident, just do like normal Karos and stuff. And then if you do off of a close dash, yeah, do this route. Or just off any poke. Like any poke, I'm pretty sure. This is pretty good. You can get free fuzzy too if you drop on accident. Anyways, on the next section. So now for this next section, this one is a bit more for optimal damage when you're creating your combos, which is ending with Vapor Thrust. I actually had to write down on some of these combos because it's very specific. So here's one. This is actually, I'm pretty sure. Wait, let me check something. Let me see if this does more damage than the optimal. All right, so we're trying to beat 222, right? Pretty high damage. So you can do 6H, Eclat, 5K Kara, /6H, and then you can delay your heavy vapor thrusts. Ignore me messing up the combo. I was just reading it as I did the combo, which I shouldn't do. Few more damage. Now that's not super like so. That isn't super big, but that is extra damage by ending with vapor thrust. So if you can ever set your up for a wall bounce in heavy vapor thrust, you might be able to wall break with it. A good way to notice that a combo is about to wall break is you'll see the cracks like once in the combo or even twice in the wall, which means that it has a certain amount of hits until it wall breaks. You have reached the wall break requirement. Now you have to do a certain amount of wall sticks you have to hit the wall a certain amount of times for it to actually break. This is also important for like longer combos, because yeah, it's 2 hits. And sometimes for like a small buffer range, I think we can do an extra hit. You actually have to have the wall register for that to apply. So technically, if you never like have the wall register, you can keep a combo going on forever, right? Also, when you're doing that combo that I just showed you, if you don't delay HVT by a little bit, it won't wall break, and it'll mess you up. I also want to go into something earlier. I forgot to mention this, but when you're doing the JH routing, you may notice that they'll like touch the wall pretty high. That's fine. But if you actually have too much wall damage, you can get a very unfortunate situation. That was very bad of me, my bad. You may accidentally wall stick them up there. Let me start with a poke here. So I throw, boom, boom, big combo longer. And this can even happen mid-screen, and you cannot wall break there. There's physically nowhere to wall break. So that's also why, if you're like mid-screen, if you do Stun Dipper, just do the new routing with 5H. You only do JH just if you're concerned of it's not working. Okay, after that disclaimer, on to the next section. Now, on to Dragon Stall. So, Dragon Stall has very different routing, and I actually would consider Dragon Stall's routing to be worse in some ways than base Kai. Now, your damage is higher and you can combo more freely, but your routing messes up a lot more in Dragon Stall without your control than in base. So, when you're Dragon Stall, you want to route into Vapor Thrust as much as possible because of just, in general, how much damage it does, and also, you just have access to it always, you know? No reason not to. So, in general, you're routing off Cold Slash. It's just doing Kara, Dragon Stall, and you'll do like dash cancel. You know, look at this. Look at that damage. Look at that damage. You know, 269 from like a really easy combo, right? TK, Heavy Vapor Thrust though, a lot worse than Dragon Stall. Like, I would not recommend using it. As you can see, that's because it's 3 hits in the air with the DP. It like super scales the combo. It's really bad. Which also actually matters a lot in some other routings. For example, if you do Kai's Fuzzy, which I can't recreate it, but it's like this, you can't combo after, which you can do in base. You can combo after and get 2k. In Dragon Stall, you don't get the 2k, so he actually gets weaker. But you can do it after first Sunnage. What? Oh, he's standing, right? You're not, by the way. Maybe it's character specific because it worked on solo, it doesn't work on anything else. I don't know. Another thing can abuse very hard is when you're doing your routing, if you are not confident in raking with like if you don't want to hit Heavy Vapor Thrust anymore, like let's say you messed up, you can just do 5H Food Drug. I think it's like 3 times before the combo just drops, right? Let me do like this. Just setting it up to show how many times you can do this. Like 1, 2, 3. It'll basically always give you a wall break, right? It's scaled, high damage, but and it's not high damage, it's low damage. And it builds a lot of meter for run. Like if it's a really bad burst. That's the reason you don't do that infinite a lot. But it is always safe. You will basically always wall break. It's pretty strong. Now, there's also one more thing, which is 2H for drug. So there is somewhat of a pattern to this. I think you have to land standing to do the infinite, right? So when you're doing the combo, you're going to do 2H, Boudjark, let go of your stick, and then you're going to 2H after, which will let you do it more consistently. This combo, though, is very bad scaling-wise, because it donos so much burst for your opponent in meter. Like, look, just doing the combo, build an entire bar meter if I wall break, and let me get rid of his burst. Look at how much burst I build though. Plus the combo is long too, so they're building even more burst. Look at how much resource. I gave him almost full burst and then hold my cancel from doing that routing, right? It's like super crazy. Other than that too, I think, let me see. You get a close dash off 2K2D, which is nice. And when you're doing your 50-50s, you have to do them a little differently, because this drops, I believe, if you're doing it. Let me show you. Let me make him crouch. I wasn't going to go over these originally. Oh, let me turn it off. I wasn't going to go over like 50-50 routings, but it's actually really important for Dragon Stall because it's downplay. I'm just kidding. It's worse. It's like a lot worse. It's really bad. I think I'm example. Let me see if I can actually 2K here. As you can see, only one hit of Vapor Thrust hit, and you need the last one hit combo. It's the opposite issue in a fuzzy situation. Let me see. This is basically luck. I have to set this to random. Charge damage. When you're doing this, this is basically like unblockable Dragon Stall. Like if this had reward, it would be kind of broken actually. I also was thinking, while I'm on the subject of doing a mixed combo, I was thinking about making a mixed guide actually, an offense guide. Because Kai is very, like, he needs, like, it's so hard to open people up. I think if I help people, it'll help a lot. As you can see, I don't even get a 2K, I don't get a 2P either. I've lost games to this, because you just don't get rewarded off that. If I could do anything, I would change Dragon Stall's how you first to do one hit, just so you hit that, you know? Also, this... Oh yeah, they fixed it. They added an extra, like, hitbox to that. They added extra hitbox to Sacred Edge, so that, you don't unstick with this. I think really that's kind of tragic, because now you're just going to be doing the same pool every single number. That's probably so bad. You'll be using Red Lightning a lot more. It's cool though. That's in general, the Dragon Stall routing. Just make sure you're converting your pokes and stun different. I don't know the fast roll cancel routing, but it's good. On to the last section, which is actually very important. If you are a very good Kai player, focus on the last section, because that's like where the optimal small things come from. Now for the last segment, which is extra routing. These are specific, more niche scenarios, but they are optimal, and to become optimal, you have to know these niche scenarios, you know? So, first of all, we have, when you have 100 meter, your optimal combo with Ride the Lightning, right? So, what you want to do is you want to Ride Lightning. So this is only possible because of the percentage changes, right? So you're going to do this. Look at this holy damage. That does 293, right? With Dire Eclat in. Look at how much damage this does. Ending on a right? Also, you can 5k there for extra damage. Wait, can I close slash? Wait. That might be 298 with 5k. Let me check if you can close slash too. But this is very important because you can't close slash. This is definitely the remedy. Oh, I dropped the combo. Okay, my bad. Okay, Red Lightning. Percentage. I dropped. By the way, when you're doing the CC routing, the micro dash is pretty tight sometimes. Like, unironically, oh, I have to delay there? Ooh, okay. You have to do a very small micro dash after the charge damage. I mean, before the charge damage. Oh, is this not working? Hold on. Getting hot better, oh my gosh. There we go. 302 damage off Rod Lightning with 100 meter. As you can see there, it's kind of consistent. Maybe just do 5k if you're not confident. It's pretty nice. So, the next one is Sacred Edge routing. You can actually combo with Sacred Edge. So, you will only do it off wall-downs and corner. A good example is 6H, Sacred Edge, Close Dash, 6H, Sacred Edge. You're going to do a Micro Dash, 5k, Kara Heavy Vapor Thrust, Close Dash, 6H, Heavy Vapor Thrust, Dire Eclat. I'll have the notation on screen as well, right? So you might know something though. This routing looks pretty hard. And you also have to time it so that they don't wall break. That's how you do it, right? You can actually make this easier. I probably have this written down somewhere in the video. You can Kara your Sacred Edge and make the combo easier, so you have to microdash as well. I should probably Vapor Thrust though. Ah! As you can see, 279. Huge cash out. Also, if you Kara, you don't even need to do the microdash. Yeah, 284 too, without direct call. Very huge. So make sure you Kara. You don't have to microdash if you Kara really well. You do the Kara with Sun Dipper. So you input Sun Dipper and then punch. Very huge. It's just like how you do it with Dire Claw when doing Red Lightning. Pretty easy. You also, like, I would just in general get in the habit of doing that. 1 meter can give you a difference in anything. The more consistent routing though is after Sacred Edge, just do 2 S5H. This will be a little higher though. Is it? It might be character specific. I remember practicing this. I probably have to get to that max height. Well, I'll just call it there. I think it might be character specific. Anyways, just do the Kara or the micro dash, whichever you prefer. You can also combo the Dragon Stall the same way. You can't Kara it though, and it has a longer launch height, so you'll just in general be doing 2 SIH, and then you'll just do that. Also in Dragon Stall, always wall break with 6H, or tap or fully charged Ghost, or you can also wall break with Heavy Vapor Thrust, specifically because it gens you meter and gens your opponent less meter. Of course, Dragon Stall's Kara isn't very useful for this because you're not going to Kara with you know. Wait, actually, now that I think about it, I think you do move forwards when you use Dire Clock in the first few frames. Let me check. This might only be off like 6H. Oh, by the way, remember, the guide of the video is going to show you optimals outside of the ones that I don't think people are going to discover that I made. The guide of, like, the point of the video is to help y'all make your own combo. Yeah, okay, you can come with a Vapor Thrust. It does less. In general, I prefer the knockdown. You get a hard knockdown if you just wall break with it, but the knockdown is pretty nice from some degree. It might actually do more now. Okay, let me see how much damage it does compared to just doing 2. Yeah, like 198 hard knockdown in your face. That's pretty good. I don't think you can charge damage though, because they're right there. Yeah, 198 compared to... you just look at the video. You don't need to see it though. So, now for the last segment, which is probably one of the most important segments if you want to be truly optimal high, it's side switch coins. It's side switch optimals, right? So, he's got some new optimals. He's had some of these in the game for a while, but in general, his optimal was close slash 2H Dire Clot, drop side switch, 5H5, 5H Vapor Thrust, and then you get all this, right? Huge damage, just does more damage than going across screen. We're almost there. We need like a bit more optimization for the plus screen combo, and we'll finally do more damage than this. Though there's an issue with this, right? First off, it's not fast on the cancel, so your meters are very optimized. But this combo actually drops in some characters. I don't own every character in the cast. I ask people to lab this for me because I don't own every character. Close slash 2H actually drops on some of the cast. Like, you don't even get the second hit of 2H. It just drops. specifically in corner, right? So there you have to use the other routing. This specifically that we know of doesn't work on Eno, Chaos, and Jacko. So if you're against those characters or you don't want to remember, do other routing. So an easier one is Cold Slash, Far Slash, Sun Dipper, Fast Roman Cancel, 6K, ignore the drop. That wasn't even optimal. So why? Oh no, I'm dropping here. Oh no, I'm struggling so hard. My bad. Late at night for So you do it based off like double sniper, right? That gives you a Cold Slash, but off like a Cold Slash. I think you just I remember this working with Kiske. I don't know what I'm doing on here. Alright. You might be able to do this. There we go. Alright. Fast Roman Cancel. Oh, let me turn off my meter so you can see the full comparison. So, you can kind of see how much meter it builds. So, the thing is, if you start with the Cold Slash, you have to use specific buttons. A little bit more meter, 200 damage, that's very nice, right? You have to start it off with Far Slash, Cold Slash. I think if you do like 5H to get pushed back too far. See, I think that she's pushed back, right? But I think I don't know why I messed up on this. I think this is too far for you to combo after. Well, let me see if you can 2P there. Yeah, you can't. Okay. Yeah, so you do it off like Cold Slash, Far Slash, or just a raw Stun Dipper. There's some other writing though. There's one that's more optimal that I made, which is, let me read this real quick. Okay, so you can do instead of doing 6K, you can actually, this is a little harder. You can do a micro dash, right? This isn't very optimal. I didn't do the optimal there that I made today. So the optimal off this, if I can do this correctly. That is the optimal. Meter gain optimal. I don't know if the damage is more. I think that was like 1 more damage. As you can see, that built like 50 meters. That was pretty good. Like, that was pretty short, right? If you do off raw Stun Dipper, though, you actually get like a lot. So also the reason I'm doing a 2K here is also I think it does. Let me check the other combo real quick. I think it does more damage if you do this. I think it does more meter. Okay, so that's the optimal. That's the optimal. Don't do the 2K. In general, when you're doing like this, if you do 2K Cold Slash, you do less damage. So you don't want to 2K if you don't have to. If you just do Cold Slash, you do 2K Cold Slash there to auto time the Dire Claw after 5H. But if you don't do that, you can do the combo I showed earlier. So if you do it just off Stun Dipper, you can just do Stun Dipper. And you also might recognize this with also don't do FRRC here. You might see that this combo is very similar to another one we did. I just made a new optimal. Hold up. Yeah, micro dash it. Okay, 191 compared to 184. Okay, so that's the new optimal. I just made an optimal, like, live video, like, while recording. Okay, that's fine. Do you equal slash? Oh, you do. And you can end with charge tonnage. Okay, so that's the optimal. That's pretty important. I'll make an update list. Overall, that's all the, like, That's all the combos that you really need to know. I might make an updated guide if it changes a lot. Being in the Kai Discord, I'll see if I can put it in the description. I would join that if you want advice, you need questions. I'll also probably post new optimals if I find new optimals. People also post other things there, which is very important, especially for learning. If you want to get good at Kai, I would become there, especially be active. If you're active, you'll like never miss like a single like matchup advice, right? That's all for now. I do watch dry streaming. Maybe I will. We'll see. Maybe more content. I'll make the pressure. I'll work on the pressure guide. This took like 2 weeks to make, and it took an entire week of hyping myself up to record after like refining the doc a little more. It's still not even fully done. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe because it makes me make more content. I'm in that time of the life. Oh no, I'm venting. Yeah. Bye.